ពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរក្រុមរកគ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងខុសខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គមជាកាមេរ៉ាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសានជ័យយោគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិសមាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាថ្មីគ្មានសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរក្រុមរកគ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងខុសខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំផ្ដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសាន
and hello and welcome to CNRP America live show. My name is Linda Wu. I am your host today. Today is December 13, 2022. Thank you so much for joining our show. This show is the whole show. I can say 100% will speak English. So hopefully you can understand and hopefully you can join in with comments or anything that you would like to comment on or chime in with our conversations. Our topic for today is combating disinformations. We will talk about the difference between disinformations and misinformations, or you can say another word, fake news as well. So we will talk about that. Both of my guests have been to workshop and they went all the way to the Philippines. So they will share their experience. They also will share what's regarding what disinformations and why it's important for us to realize what is the what disinformation is and why it's harmful to society and why we shouldn't be talking. And I just saw the comment already. We are not speaking Khmer today. We are speaking English because Tuesday is the English show and this is called Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Let me go to my guests because we have a lot of discussion. I mean, discussion on one topic, but it's a really great topic and it's really long. The thing that you will understand what is this information by the time the end of the day. While I was researching, not researching, but basically trying to come up with a topic, I actually learned for myself, I learned what is misinformation and disinformations, and it's really great that my both of my guests they've been to the workshop. They can tell our audience what's going on, our viewers what's going on. So let me introduce my first guest. His name is Mr. Ricky. He is the General Secretary of CNRPA America. So he is outspoken. He's very well known about what's going on in Cambodia, what's going on in the world, and he travel and he is the voice of many people that cannot speak. So I want to welcome him and want to also thanks him for actually taking his time. Mịp Xu Lục Pu.
Linda. Hello,
How are you
everyone.
doing?
I'm okay. It's a little cold here. That's why I have my sweater on. Outside, yeah, 30, probably close to 35 degree, maybe 30, 40. Yeah.
Yes, it's been cold for the last, I guess, 2 to 3 days. But also we got some rain. I'm not sure Modesto have any rain, but we got plenty of rains in Los
That's
Angeles,
good.
California.
We need a lot of rain in California. Yeah.
Oh, well, Lukpu, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for, like I said, Lukpu is outspoken. He both in English and Khmer. I'm not sure Lukpu speak another language or not, but that's what I speak to Lukpu about. He's always, and he can speak really well Khmer. He can understand he in both languages. So he's, thank you, Lukpu, for being here.
Thank you.
Let me bring my other guest out so that way we can introduce him at the same time. My second guest, his name is Samady. He is the president of the CNRPA Youth. Let me so Samady.
Bong, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing today? Thank you for being here, Samady.
No problem, Bong. I haven't seen you for a long time, so.
If you watch my new
Yeah,
voices, would just that you would see me all the time.
All the time, yes.
Thank you, Samady, for giving up your time and also for representing the youth in Los Angeles, California, also representing the youth in America. Thank you so much. Let me bring Ricky out as well. Okay, look, Ricky, we all here in the same room. I'm assuming Samady's also cold, right, Samady? With your jacket on?
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold inside the house, but it's better than being hot, so I prefer the cold.
Okay, let play a video, a short video, like a 3 minutes video to share what Lukpu and also Samady did in November. I believe at the same time, right? November 12th to November 14th. So this is over 4 weeks ago. And finally, we have them both here to talk about what is the disinformation and why it's important. And they just came off from the workshop. Let me share the screen. Let me see if I can do that. So that way our audience understand what's going on, what they did. Okay. This on sorry about that. Okay, this November 12 to November 14. Look, Poo, can you explain where you were at? You were in that video, so can you explain where you were at? And there's a lot of people there. Why were you there? Why were Samalis there? And also we have CNRP representative. That means Pauline as well to represent women. Somebody there to represent the youth. Their workshop. So we are not sitting still and staying home. We actually very active. So Lukpu, can you help to explain to us or help our viewers, like what did they just watch for the last 3 minutes?
Yeah, our viewer needs to know the what's the definition of CALD, CALD. That's what I start with. CALD stands for Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats. This has been in this institution actually has been in place for many years, and LP Samdang, acting President Samdang, CNRP party has been the president too. And Madame Musuhur, the vice president, also has been to Cal many times, and also Ms. Kamhun Tit, the president of Women Affairs for CNRPA, has been attending Cal. Even Mr. Ritti Ong, the president of CNRP, has been to Cal before the COVID. Yeah, in Malaysia, I believe back then. So actually, we are involved in this organization for many years, and it give us the like a guidance how to work to liberate our country. Actually, we work closely with the Philippines, with Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, even in Taiwan, even with Taiwan and Hong Kong, um, even some leaders from Africa too. So we have been in good connection with these leaders, opposition leaders from these countries. And of course, right now we just heard that, not just heard, but we just have the new leadership in Malaysia, the opposition leaders. Anwar Ibrahim, everyone knows that he is the opposition leader, now leading Malaysia. This is good. We are moving in the right direction. And Thailand, I believe, is also in the process of going to change too. So with the leadership that we been contacting and engaging for the last years, our leaders, including from the top down to the chapters of like CNRPA, has been involved deeply, and we know what CAL's objectives are. And I know at the present time, the Philippines is leading. The former senator is leading CAL. He's the chair of CAL, and comprised of many other Filipinos, youth as well. They're either the secretary or the vice president, or they are the out like public relation. So since it happened in Philippines, there are a few Filipinos leaders there. I'm not surprised that in the future it's going to be, like the person like somebody, or maybe it could be someone representing Carl too. We need youth, especially youth leaders, to learn from them, and we are in the process of doing that. So we met. If we make friends, that's my first time. My wife Pauline, also first time. I think somebody too. It's our first time in Cal, attending Cal for those 2 days. Really important that our movement, our opposition party needs to learn from what they have been doing in the countries, especially Southeast Asian countries. And we know how they fought the government, or they try to get the agenda across, get voted or supported by not by the majority, but at least by the team in those countries, and that's a big plus. I will explain more, and I want somebody to add on to that too in terms of youth. So he learns a lot too.
Go ahead, Samady.
Yeah, Lapu said everything very clearly already. So on this note, I just would like to take this opportunity, to sincerely express my gratitude to His Excellency Francis. He is currently the chairperson of CALT, the president of CALT, and he also running for an election, the previous election, as Philippine vice president. As you know, in the Philippines, they have a very similar political landscape like the U.S. They have Senate, the House, the Congress, except one thing's different. They vote for president and vice president. So in this case, Mr. Francis also ran for the vice president. For the previous election, he came very close, but he said currently he used to be a former senator too, but now he is retiring, but he's planting seed for the next generations. And I would like to thank him. And on the second day, they fly us to Iloilo, which to see the governor of Iloilo, Mr. Arthur Defensor. They provide us a very warm welcome and hospitality to our visit to the Philippines from November 11th to November 14th. And on the workshop, we adopt a very timely manner and relevant theme of building a democratic coalition against disinformation. And this is a very important topic, especially in the Philippines, throughout Southeast Asia, because all of those countries using, especially the government, used social media platform because they hold the power to manipulate the younger generation. The Philippines is not the only country that have a lot of youth population. Cambodia also have close to 80% of youth population, which is very related to our country. And this is a very important workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Samady. Let's go to the topic, disinformations. I know Lukpu and Samady been well thought about. Like I said in beginning of the show, I actually learned the difference between misinformations and disinformation. Let our youth continue. Samady, what's the difference between misinformation and disinformations?
Well, misinformation is when you give false or inaccurate information. Let's say you ask me what time is it. I say 5 o'clock without checking the timer, right? But it's actually 4:30. So I'm giving you misinformation. While also misinformation can be rumors, like saying this person is this and that, insult, or just use it as a prank. While disinformation is more like a propaganda to create a malicious content on you, such as hoax or facade in this case. Just think of Hun Sen if you don't know what disinformation is. He using fake news. Let's say recently I heard him said that he brought up Mr.Samady, the acting president of CNRP, saying he disrespecting the king on his message and forced the political party in Cambodia, the main opposition political party in Cambodia, known as Candlelight Party. He forced Candlelight Party, which going to be the main opposition for the upcoming election, to issue a letter that say to attack Mr. Samady. And even though I go back to the clip about what Mr. Samady said regarding the king, he did not attack the king or saying anything bad. He just stated that who disrespecting the king the most when Cambodia is in the era during the war. And Hun Sen just use it to twist it on what the other opposition parties say to create a propaganda, in this case, a hoax or a facade to gain a political upper hand and make the other opposition political party look bad. So this is what this information is, a facade, a hoax, or a propaganda that the government used.
Yeah, beside propaganda, to be put in the simple term is you start out with the time. If you know the person had to be at somewhere at 5 o'clock, and you know that it's very important that they have to be there at 5 o'clock, they ask you somebody what time it is, and you said it's only 3 o'clock. You know, well known that that person need to be there at
Yeah.
5. It's very important, but you maliciously telling them
Mhm.
the wrong information so the person be late. So in short is this information is the information that you pass to the other person, knowing it's
Mhm.
wrong, knowing that it's false, knowing that, and you keep going. Am I correct or am I not correct? Look, can you help to
Yeah, that's true. Somebody gave an example and a good definition comparing between the comparison between misinformation and disinformation. And Linda has also reiterated the word maliciously and knowingly, that when you know it's going to hurt someone, you still do it. That's misinformation. You do it just to gain either self gain or gain the self interest, uh, or try to bring down the person that either you don't like or you opposition. But let's talk about politics here. uh, go straight to the disinformation, because that's what the workshop was on. But we know misinformation is not really misinformation. It's just the act of not knowing, but you just said it because you're not sure. You said it, like false information, or you do it because it's just accurate. You're not sure. But misinformation, you do it intentionally, maliciously, knowingly that this person is going, you want to cause harm to this person. So this information destroying or disharmonizing the society. In this case, Hun Sen has used this information in terms of per, politics, in the form of politics. For example, he said Sam Rangsi has been the betrayer, but has been the traitor for 3 generations. The public did not know, but until they find out. But Hun Sen know that Sam Rangsi wasn't the traitor for 3 generations. His grandfather was the leader, the governor of one of those provinces, and his father was the one that fought so hard, Mr. Samsari, for with Excellency Son San, trying to gain the territory back from Vietnam back in the 1940s and 1950s. And even Mr. Samransi did not betray the king. He worked closely with Prinoram Senu, the late Prinoram Senu. He never become a traitor. On the other hand, who's a traitor? Who signed the additional treaty of 2005 giving control away, even though the Paris Peace Accord of 1991, October 23rd, 1991, said all the treaties signed by Hun Sen in 1979, 1982, 1983, and 85 are obsolete. They are no longer uh, the official because it was signed under the at gunpoint, or was signed under the occupation of Vietnam back in those years. So the Paris Peace Accord said yes, those treaties are obsolete. They're not, they're not good. But you know what? Hun Sen signed in 2005. He said additional treaties based on 1985, the last one that was dealing with Cotra, or the island, the most important island that Hun Sen gave away. So why? Because he did not want to mention that, and he even threatened the Fan Sin Pech party back then when Fan Sin Pech was in power. He said, "You know what? Whoever want to claim Campuchia crown back, you bring the coffins with you." You see? So we know the intention behind what Hun Sen said to Samrang, the three-generation traitor, where himself actually was the traitor. So this is a this information that I just want to give to our viewers to think. That's one example. Also, you already heard me saying that the uh, disinformation is to discredit your opponents. This is very unfair. You know, especially it happened in the country like Cambodia or in Libya or in a communist country, China, for example. They said something that is not, when you go check fact finding or fact checking, it's not even close, and the people did not know about it. And the word they use, what, Orkun Santapip, thank you to peace. Look at Cambodia. Who's who's giving the disinformation here to the public? You know, the leader, the union leaders, trade leader is in jail still. Sanctuary is in jail. What are they fighting? Why are they in jail now? Because they want to speak up against these dictators, and who gave false information, who, you know, where is the false information? Not just false information, but disinformation. They know that there's no peace, but they still use the word peace. So why they want to fool the public that yes, pick me again because I will provide you peace, but instead they bring the disharmony to the public, to the society. Look at how many people are fleeing Cambodia to look for jobs. You know, and they still said, "Hey, they're doing the right thing." And another example too. Lately, the leaders, Hun Sen himself said, because Cambodia is so freely expressing, Cambodians are so it's a free country. That's why we have a cyber crime in Kampong Sam. This is ridiculous. We all heard about this, and the public may say, "Oh yeah, Cambodia is a safe haven because Cambodia is a free country." This is why they have cybercrime in Cambodia. This is very wrong. Okay, I give a few more example later, but once someone to jump in, that's okay. Thank you.
I'll jump in. I'll give
Mhm.
you a current event example.
Yeah.
Hun San is currently in Europe. He is in Brussels. Sorry if I pronounce European countries wrong. So before he came to before he on the plane to Europe, he said that
Brussels is a city.
Brussels, yeah, Brussels. Okay.
Belgium is a country. Yeah,
Oh, Belgium. Okay, sorry, my
that's
geography
okay.
is not. So before he get on the plane, he's give speeches everywhere, and then he said, if Paris or France want to arrest him, um, he's there. They can arrest him, but that information is wrong. For the Cambodian people, when they hear that, they're like, oh, Hun Sen is very powerful. He's really good. Nobody can touch him. Nobody can arrest him. And even though he has a the court order to arrest him, but the information that Hun Sen forgot to give to the Cambodian people is that he, as a prime minister, he is protected, and he's wherever he go, if he go on a what is called a as a prime minister, he's not going to get arrested. He has the protections.
His
So that's
impunity, yeah.
the impunity as a prime minister. So that's one thing that he forgot to mention to the public. For us, we when we when we heard that what he said, oh, we know, because you can go anywhere because you're a prime minister right now. Wait until he's no longer a prime minister. Good luck on leaving Cambodia. Good luck on leaving, trying to enjoy, Paris. That's one thing. That's the current event. And also when Lupu said, thank you, peace. Do in Cambodia, do we ever realize that everything, bridges, school, anything that's built, even one bedroom home, it's thanks to Hun Sen. Why do we thanks Hun Sen? Why do he's not the one? He doesn't generate the money. He take the money, the tax collected, or the donation from the outside, from other country, and put his name on it, and that is what, for his own benefit. Even though we were talking maliciously, destroying other people's reputations, also disinformations, also use it to benefit the person as well. Like, thank you, peace. Thank that there's no peace in Cambodia, because anybody, if you realize, oh, if there's peace, then people should be able to say whatever they want, but they're not able to say that. They can say whatever they want as long as not against the regime.
Also in support of the regime.
Yes.
Yeah, they're protected. If someone wants to speak up against the policy of the leadership, the government or the regime, they will be jailed. Even to repeat after what Hun Sen said, it's also will be in trouble too. So this is what Cambodian are going through. They only whisper when they want to talk about something, and this is not a place where you can express your free speech, or you can write whatever you want to say. I mean, in this country, of course, when you go into the movie and you yell fire and everyone get hurt, you're gonna be in trouble too. Yeah, you have the feel to say it, but then you're gonna face the law, whatever you're gonna be charged with. But not in Cambodia. You just say something that this leadership or Mr. Prime Minister or someone, even his supporter, you might be jailed too for just saying something very simple.
Exactly. Somebody, do you have
Mhm.
any current event example that you can share with our audience? So, our viewers, sorry, I keep saying audience, our viewers, so that way they can keep,
Mhm.
so that way they know, the very current event. Like, it's a normal day, it's a daily disinformation, especially through the technology of Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Twitter. It's everywhere.
Well, I feel like in Cambodia, the main social media that younger generation use, even older people now in Cambodia, is TikTok and also Facebook. And I realized that the content and the recommendations that the news popping up or whatever shows on your TikTok account on your wall or Facebook feed is based on filtering. So in this case, recently Cambodia just adopted the Chinese internet gateway, and I feel like the election is coming up. So if you were to switch, let's say, your VPN to Cambodia region, obviously most of the TikTok that you see is famous celebrity in Cambodia who openly supported Cambodian People Party, or one of Hun Sen's sons, Hun Manio Manai. They also play TikTok too, and also Hun Sen's speech. So in this case, the main thing that you come up with is on the emphasis of Hun Sen said, without peace, the country we're going back to 1975. As we all know, 1975 is during that time, during that era, Cambodia going through the Khmer Rouge Pol Pot era. And the older generation, when they hear the term war, they do not want to be involved with politics because in their mind, they think that if change is coming to Cambodia for the upcoming elections, war will come to Cambodia soon. I remember when I was small, during the elections, I think during that time, Candlelight Party, when there's an election coming in, my grandma used to buy a lot of rice and stocking up food. She'd say, "Oh, just in case this kind of stuff happening again, we are prepared. We can just stay home instead of going out. We are stocking up on food. We can stay like for months at home. It's safe that way." And I feel like older generations, when they scroll through their social media and see those kind of stuff, it brings back those memories. And that can be also disinformations. And one of the facts that I learned during the workshop in the Philippines, throughout the survey, they say a majority of 51% of Filipinos find it difficult to spot fake news on television, radio, social media, and amongst those who find it difficult to spot those fake news, it's the highest in Manila and those major cities in the Philippines. I feel like this can also be related in Cambodia because in the Philippines and in Cambodia, those are third world country and they do not have the freedom of speech, and most of those people did not have a college level degree education. So when you don't have higher education, it's very difficult to spot fake news or disinformation. You just believe anything the government put out without thinking twice, unlike in the US. When I go to college, or even in high school, the main thing I learned when writing essay is I cannot use any sources like Fox News or CNN. I have to use anything .organization or .edu. And when you're moving up to the college level, when you're writing like 10 pages essay, you cannot use those sources anymore. You have to use the source that the school provided. We call it database in this case. It can only be found at Cal Poly University website. In this case, you can only found those sources because it's been fact checking to be proven 100% proof without biases. So I feel like this is very important too, in both in Cambodia and Philippines and any country in Southeast Asia.
Thank you, Samadi. When you talk about books, I just realized the Hun family, how
Mhm.
books
Mhm.
every single month coming out about themselves, about how they rescue Cambodia,
Mhm.
and endless books. I think if you were able to read them, I don't know. I never read one. Look, who ever read a book by them?
No, it's
No,
just a waste of our time
exactly.
because yeah, that's misinformation and also
Mhm.
disinformation together.
Mhm.
Why reading someone else who always we already know what they have been doing to Cambodian people, to the country. They're destroying the education. They even look. We just had the test coming. Not on not too long ago, a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago. There was a history question, not a history, but five, not just one. Not There were five history questions. Even in natural science, they were asking history questions, and the history is not taught. It's not allowed to be taught in Cambodia. And here we have Hun Sen and his sons writing history.
Mhm.
You think this is going to be a good book to read for the Cambodian people? Somebody raised a good point, and also I want to interject this too. Most Cambodian people, like between age from 30, maybe up to 38, like 60% of them, and the education level is like eighth grade. And talking about critical thinking, it won't happen. So if Hun Sen knows exactly This is a propaganda, maliciously and knowingly, that these people will be fooled by them. So if they read the book, they will believe that if they vote for the opposition leader, what's going to happen. And those people, their parents are right now, they say, oh, I don't want a war to happen again because I went through the Khmer Rouge, I went through uh, the Vietnamese occupation. We lived through this era, so many wars, civil wars happen again and again. We try to avoid it, so let's vote for CPP. This is disinformation. This is not true, my fellow Cambodians. We have to do fact checking, checking the facts, that the intention of these author who wrote these books behind it, behind the idea behind it, is to just brainwash our youngster to vote for them, which, what's not going to happen if you continue to vote this should be ironic. If you continue to vote for this regime, your future is going to be destroyed. And they are creating war right now. They threaten you all the time. The younger generation need to know, if they speak up against that, they speak up their mind, they do the protest, uh, giving example of the Friday women who like to you do protest. They got kicked, they got dragged all over on the street, they got knocked down, and some have been injured or severely injured or have been jailed. This is not this is the war going on in Cambodia every day. And somebody raised a good point about internet gateway. Yes, that's what China's doing. And if you don't vote the right party, you continue to live your life like this through generation, and you will never get out of this. And your life is going to end right here. Not just you, but your children and your grandchildren too. So please don't get be disinformed by these dictators who want to rule your life for the rest of the century. We don't want that. We want to change, and just make sure that everyone, every neighbors in your village, in your district, know the facts that it's not going to happen. War is not going to happen because the leaders, who has all the weapons, who has control all the weapons, who has the ability to control all the police? It's all the regime. So if the regime said war, it's only by them. They're gonna fight the opposition. They're gonna fight whoever want the power to give the power to the people. So the people need to know that these leaders, this regime, want to have the total control. That's why they are called the totalitarian, because they want the people have no voice against them. That's the war they are creating. So don't believe them.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Lukpu. Talking about we out here, we can look through it. We can see
Hmm.
what's going on. We can see like, oh, this is this information. But for someone who actually living in Cambodia, who actually do through internet gateway, might not able to watch us. But if they do, hello. But can Lukpu name a source of website, a source of news that should be trusted?
Should be trusted. You can just look at listen to Radio Free Asia, Voice of America, or uh, the VOD. VOD is also in Cambodia too, and they have access to VOD. VOD is fair. OFI sometimes, radio, yeah, fan internationals is not really reliable. But please do not listen to Toto Call or future
Any
all the
television
channels.
that in Cambodia, it's a
Yeah.
propaganda.
Oh,
That's the end of that. So
exactly. So, if you want to have a good information, improve your thinking, make a right decision for your life, have a critical thinking, please continue to follow the independent source, independent news. And I know CNRP America, we always check our check our facts to make sure we get the right information. CNRP America is also good too. We don't just promote ourselves, but we don't talk about something that's not true. Why we want to misinform the public? Why we want to misinform our viewers? No, this is real happening in Cambodia, and the Cambodian cannot speak up for themselves, so we speak for them. And we know when we talk about Hun Sen putting people in jail, we have 34, 35 people in jail now of activists, just because they want to protest against the leaders or against the regime about the price of rice. The price of rice is cheaper. Is that true? It's cheap. It's getting cheaper than any other countries, and now the farmers are owing money to the bank, and because they want the rice to just flow into one market, one person, and one person control the price. They want to buy cheaper, so they discount when they discount the price of rice. They give it a cheaper price. But when people are running out of rice, they're gonna raise the price. We call price gouging, and people cannot afford. So they depend on the government. And here you ask for them again, say, please help us sell our rice. But now, you know who has the control over your destiny. You must have the control of your destiny. Don't let the government have the control of your destiny, including your life. Yes, the price of rice, for example.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lupu. Somebody, anything to add? Anything to avoid for people in Cambodia? You hear it from one person. Don't trust it. Check facts. Checks. Listen to many sources. And just want to let our viewer know we do not get paid from RFA or VOA or VOD. We just name a good, reliable source. We do not generate income from using their name on our live show.
Yeah, the reason RFA, VOD, and VOA is considered to be a reliable source is they are funded by the U.S. They are considered to be nonprofit organizations, so they cannot make any money. And before the U.S. Funded a program, one, it has to be reliable and unbiased news that able to express the voice of democracy. So this is why we suggested those news, not BTV, CNN. In Cambodia, they call it, I think,
CTN.
CPN, yeah, CPN. Bayon TV, many more. In this, Fresh U TV in Cambodia is very popular in the cafe shops that people doesn't watch the news on TV now. They just in the morning at 7 a.m. they just scroll on their phone. They have Fresh News on iPhone apps. So I can guarantee you at least 80% of the Cambodian population use Fresh News on their phone. And it is known to support Hun Sen 100%. So if you're looking for unbiased news and fresh news, is not the source. On the topic of disinformations, I just ran upon the videos on one of my Facebook feed. When Biden visited Cambodia, Hun Sen is very proud that Biden visited President Joe Biden. And one of the guy make a video title that why did President Joe Biden decide to walk out of his plane without listening to his Secret Service and go shake hand with the Cambodian kids. They brought a bunch of Cambodian American lining up in the airport next to Joe Biden, the plane that Joe Biden landed, and then Joe Biden came out and saw those Cambodian American. He go and shake his hand, and they put it on the news, say that things to peace. This rarely happened. The reason that President Joe Biden, the most powerful man in the whole entire world, go and shake hand with the kid without wearing mask, without having to worry about security, not going to his car directly after getting out of the plane, and decide to walk past his vehicle, his Secret Service, and go shake their hand, is because one, Cambodia must be a very known for peaceful country, low COVID cases, and freedom of speech and expression. It showed that Mr. Biden is not afraid of the Cambodian government, or everything that the opposition parties say must be wrong, because Cambodia is a very peaceful country. That Biden decided to do that, which very funny. And it have almost 700K of views, and on Facebook, and most people go comment it, say thank you to peace. This is the reason why the president of the U.S. love our country and feel very safe. This can also be disinformation, because it happened around during the same time as the rise, like the Puriki said, and all other current event that happened relating to politics and economic. Those can shift away their interest and focus more on the video. They say, "Oh, if this happened, then all those news is fake. Why should we listen to it? We can see Joe Biden over here loving Cambodia so much as the host." So those can be also disinformation. But even though it's not related to politics, they did not attack the opposition party, but it kind of pointed you toward the different direction when they have second doubt on the Hun Sen government and the regime. So this is how social media can play huge role in disinformations, and they know how to attract the youth attention when they want to be interested in Cambodian social event or anything that's going on in Cambodia.
Thank you, Samady. Talking about the youth, gosh, for the last 2 months, I'm not sure you realize there's a lot of Facebook, there's a lot of TikTok, a lot of Instagram that owned by Hunmanet. The reason they want to flood all this information to the youth in Cambodia on how successful he is, on how respectable he is, on how he educations from the Western educations. The matter of the fact is he's the son of Hun Sen. Dictator now is passing the torch to his son. Hun Manet is educated in America. He got educated in England. He gone back to Cambodia. It must be 20 years ago. And for the last 20 years, what have he's done? What have he's done to help democracy, or what have he's done to help human rights? The country that he got his degree on, which is America, one of his bachelor degree is from America, that have a respect for democracy, have the respect for human rights. But at the same time, 20 years ago, 20 years later, now 20 years later, over 20 years later, we have Naga woman that's protesting. It's almost, I believe it's going to be a year soon, that have no resolution. If he understand what's democracy, what human rights, what is union, trade union, if he know what that is, he would have help, he would have stepped. But instead, nothing for the whole year, because it does not benefit him, it does not benefit his family. And that's the leadership that you are looking at, the youth of Cambodia. That's the leadership that you are looking at, which is does not benefit the Cambodian people.
True, Linda and somebody. I just want to add a few points here. I know the times we still have another topic to talk about, but going with the flood of disinformation through media by the CPP medias, especially, and their activists spreading throughout the world right now, this year especially, because they want to win again. Our audience, our viewers, please spread the words to the neighbors, your neighbors, especially when you live in Cambodia, when you are able to watch Facebook or watch the news, independent news, for example, OFA. I strongly recommend OFA because Mr. Chun Chanbot already informed us that before the news comes out, before he reads the news, at least 44 people confirm the source and fact checking to make sure that whatever he said is true. And usually, CNRP Americas get the source from RFA too, since they already have the a good reference there. That's number one. Number two, um, when we talk about peace, when we talk about you know the opposition, Mr. Samady and many other, at least 9 or 10 others leaders, CNRP leaders, are banned from going to Cambodia right now. And even Hun Sen has even contacted those countries who will fly them in. They will not be allowed in Cambodian airspace to return the leaders, opposition leaders there, even though they accuse them for, you know, 50 years, 30 years in jail terms already. And even we ask them to say, hey, if you accuse them, actually, the leaders, our leaders, for the hearing, allow us to be there, to speak what our side of the story is, but they won't be allowed. And then now he said, okay, then what Hun Sen said to all his cronies, the supporters, said, oh, some Seas are afraid, the CNRP leaders, those leaders are afraid to come in. This is disinformation. And the public thought, the CNRP leaders are covered, like they're chickens, because they're afraid to go into Cambodia. But it's not. We always want to go in. Let's don't destroy our passport, or disqualify us from going in. Take I don't know, the privilege. Let's um, allow us to go in, and we will go at any time. So this is also another example of disinformation that Hun Sen used, and the people believing in him. Some people, not all, but still, this is so. Our words spread through the village to the district throughout Cambodia said it's not true. We always want to go in to help our people, but we are not allowed to go in, including me too. I want to go in anytime, and there's but when I go in, you go on the blacklist. We on the blacklist. Why on the blacklist? That's go in and rebuild our country, rebuild democracy, bring it back, be fair. You cannot just win voting all the time by voting, even threatening, stealing elections. Um, Look at Son Chai, who has been accused of misinformation to the public when he's tell the truth. When he told the truth, what charged with 100 over 75
Almost, almost
seven
70. Mhm.
$750,000 just for like defamation.
I'm surprised they didn't round it to 1 million.
Right. So these are the things that this regime has disinformed the public about. Sunshine's misinformed the public. This is not true. Okay.
Thank you, Lukpo, and thank you, Samady. We're not done even though we hit our 1 hours. I would like to talk about this is the last chance for our S3052. S3052 is the Cambodian Democracies and Human Rights Acts of 2022. What I want to say is that this information is out there is that, this S3052, we harm the Cambodian people inside Cambodia. We hear so many times to say, no, does not harm ordinary Cambodian inside Cambodia. This bill with sanctions Hun Sen and his regime, Hun Sen and his cronies regarding democracy and regarding disrespect to human rights. We are December 13 right now. The Senate will go on their year break, their vacations, Christmas vacations for the year. They will close that session. So I would like everyone, doesn't matter you live in California, doesn't matter you live in New York. I would like you to call, please call, contact your senator and have them support S3052, because we are hoping that this the S3052 will be hotline soon, meaning putting for a vote. So that way, please support our S3052. Anything you want to add, Lupu?
Yeah, Linda, thank you. You, my Pauline, Gimhon, Brittany, Mr. Tiong, the teams, Sita as well, um, has been working hard, lobbying, not lobbying, but advocating for this bill for so long, for more than a year, almost 2 years now. Actually, for the old bills, it has been more than 2 years. And this is very important for democracy and human rights in Cambodia. And that's what we are for. We want this bill passed. It doesn't hurt or harm. It only helps the Cambodian people and the country. And if you want to change, you don't just talk about change. You need to take some action. Pick up a phone, call those senators. We have especially the leaders, CNRPA leaders have their numbers already, the names. So please, and also the constituent, you can call just go Google online, and then you can find your senators and their numbers right away. Especially the DC's office number is important. They pick up the phone most of the time, and then just ask them to say, please support Bill 3052 and HR 4686 if they are up for voting. So this is very important to help our country and to help liberate democracy in Cambodia. And that way we all fulfill our duties as a Cambodian American or constituent of your state. Um, that's our message, and we appreciate those people that have been calling already. I know your help is appreciated. We are looking forward to working with you in the near future, and hopefully this bill will pass soon, and we will have the strong base to continue our struggle for this change.
Thank you, Lukpu. Yes, we have been working very hard on the bills, and so this is the end of that. We are in the end of the year, so we are hoping for good news. And just to let anybody who's listening, we are not giving up. We are continuing to fight, and it's not a short road; it's a long road, and we are willing and we are preparing to continue to fight for Cambodia through this bill. So. Please help us out. Please help yourself out. And you, as on behalf of the Cambodian community, yourself, please help. Don't just say, I'm democratic, this and that. No, you can be Republican, you can be Democratic, doesn't matter. You just need to call all the senator and say, you're representing the Cambodian community and you understand the people, the struggle in Cambodia. So please pick up the phone and call your senator to support S3052, HR 4686. Anything else we need to add?
Okay, I think we are good. Again, very important to get a good information. Don't be fooled by this by Hun Sen regime. Don't get disinformed. Don't get misinformed. Get the right information and make good decision so that we can have a bright future in Cambodia together. Thank you very much for your time and for the show.
Thank you, Lupu, and thank you, Samady, so much for being here. If I know most people are going to be on vacation soon. If you on vacations and you going somewhere that you didn't watch me next week, I would like to wish everybody, Lupu and your family, and Samady also happy holiday. Hope bring joy for the Christmas. And I know I only celebrate Christmas I only celebrate the presents. Um, so because of the kid, but anyhow, happy holidays, and hope everybody enjoy their time with their family, the time off with their family. So look, Pooh, thank you so much for being here. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
somebody also. It's very important subject on disinformation. We hopefully be clear for our viewers regarding what's going on. So thank you so much, podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our show, for especially our viewer. Thank you for your comment. Please leave me your comment. Please leave me any questions you have. I will, after this, I will go through it and answer it. And also, as always, thank you for watching our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This show is under CNRP America. Today is Tuesday. We speak English. So we have our show in Khmer 6 days per week. Please tune in and listen to the Khmer language. I know many people asking me to speak Khmer today, but unfortunately, this is the English show today. So thank you so much for being here. And like I said, if I didn't see you next week, please, I hope you tune in. But if you didn't watch me next week, I hope you have a great holiday. And hopefully see you in 2023. Thank you and good night.